And in New York, when we do that panel, will people get splooge in person?
I hope so.
I'm sure somebody will ask, will you do splooge?
Will you splooge on me, Rob? Where I was like, yes.
For you, yes.
Shut up, Joel, because we're live! Welcome to the weekly poll. That gag will never get old.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I was waiting for Joel to get another moment to speak.
Yeah.
All right, guys,
this,
welcome to the weekly poll, our weekly bonanza of pop culture goodness. Probably should update with the location of the stream right now. We come here every week to talk about all of your favorite whatever while interrupting Joel and ensuring that he doesn't actually get to speak very much. Even though Sal and I were talking about earlier, it's been like a year since you've been with us now, Joel, hasn't it?
Yeah, Joel's
I know.
gone for a good long time.
How fast does the time go? I was thinking about this too, and to think, judging by the SoundCloud, the weekly
awesome story, Joel.
Very near 100 episodes.
Awesome story,
Yes,
Joel.
we are.
Awesome story.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Joel's like, man, it's been a year and I get no respect.
Every day they will come at you. Every day you must endure.
Oh, it'll be so amazing. So anyway, guys, as usual, I am Benny the Comic Story, and I read your comic books dramatically back to you on YouTube. Joining me is our usual co-host of, we'll go backwards for once, Caped Joel, now here for about a year or sometime. He does amazing reviews, talks about your favorite TV shows, and I think he does something on YouTube. That is Rob.
Can we give a round of applause for Joel, because Benny has not run him off yet?
It's been a year of tormenting Joel.
Your endurance level is great. We can tell what skills you picked in the
best part about this is, like, I would have left the weekly poll 6 months ago, but egging on Joel has become my new pastime.
My new raison d'etre.
And that is Rob from Comics Explained. He does something about comic books and explaining them. I don't really know. You probably know who he is, so I don't really know how to explain it. And the last guy is Sal. The last guy is Sal from ComicPOP, that bring you weekly comic book discussions, talking about your favorite comic books, telling the weirdness of comic books to people who don't understand the weirdness of comic books.
Yes.
Yeah. That thing
I was trying to give people legit shout-outs for once. I never give them the real ones.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. All right. And today's episode is brought to you by a joint project of me and Rob, known as Eligible Monster. That's where you can find me, Rob, and Natalie, bringing you video game goodness, all kinds of good stuff. No one else on the podcast even knows that Rob and I have been doing this now for like a week and a half. So,
dude,
you've been doing
it was fun. Yep, it was fun, Benny, but I can't do it anymore.
Oh, we're done? That's it? We're already quitting it?
Yeah. I did one video and we're done. We're never doing it.
Rob has officially quit now that we're getting the banner made with him on it.
I just wanted to see if you do it. You did, so now I'm quitting. No, actually, it's really fun. Like I liked doing that whole analysis of the PS4 Pro.
Yeah, no.
That was
basically, Natalie and I have been trying to do Eligible Monster for a while, but it's very difficult to keep on top of games you're not too interested in, and it's very difficult to keep on top of a lot of the news. So we thought bringing in some help would be good, and Rob really wants to do gaming videos, so boom! Match made in heaven. We're having a three-way later. Rob's going to be middle.
No, I'm good, man.
Oh, he says that now, but off mic he's like, no, but seriously, what time does it start though?
Yeah, like when are we gonna do that, man?
Do I need to bring anything? Because I'll bring stuff.
So I don't have my phone handy, so I can't pull up and look at our topics for today. So what do you guys tell me what we're doing?
Well, I will pull up and look at our topics since Joel is not going to do his damn job.
I got them right in front of me. I was waiting
for the lead. Be quiet,
Joel.
Hush. Be quiet.
Rob's trying to take my shtick.
All right, so, the Shocker costume, possibly. Well, I thought it was confirmed that was a Shocker costume.
I think it was confirmed now because they haven't shot it down and said it's a fake.
Because those were stolen photos from, like, some jackass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's becoming quite the thing now to take, like, cell phone videos on sets of superhero movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's going to be an element of CG to it, which is why they haven't released like a formal photo. Because they released that terrible Walmart poster of Spider-Man for Homecoming where he's like upside down. You're like, this.
Oh, dude, the logo looks so bad.
I'm not even against the logo, but like that poster itself, they're like, this is the official new poster. It just has the logo and him upside down like you see everywhere, ever, and it's like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
against a blue background, that's original. Like, how about something? I don't know.
I mean, you're talking about the one that's like...
Is this the one where he's on the NYPD car? Oh, no, okay, never mind. You said he's upside down?
Yeah, it's the official Spider-Man Homecoming poster, or the first one.
Oh, and he's waving like the...
Oh,
yeah, that's
dude,
it.
hold on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody just here. I'm gonna link this. I'm gonna link this to you guys, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. Somebody on DeviantArt made a beastly Spider-Man. It just says the new Avenger is coming.
Ooh.
Like it looks
up.
super good. Huh? No, here I'll send it to you.
Is this where we're at now? We're looking at DeviantArt pictures.
Oh, hell yeah.
By the way.
Guy, we're not doing a show today. We're going to look at DeviantArt and then maybe link you to it. I don't know. We're not sure.
That's pretty cool. That's a neat
It's
idea.
pretty badass. I like that.
I dig it. I like DeviantArt. I've used it since like 2005 to team up with artists and do comic books. And like, there's
I don't like
a
DeviantArt.
lot of talented people.
Individuals we know and hate are from there.
Oh, that's true.
I will
Some
say
people
this.
created a YouTube career out of their DeviantArt promo.
I was going to say,
Some
what
of
about
those
our
people
good
Rob
buddy
hates
MD
drastically.
Kex, who's always doing
I would not
fan art?
say they. Let me tell you something. If they made a career out of their DeviantArt work, I don't know how, because that person who shall not be named has terrible DeviantArt.
Hey, why
And so-
don't you just name them? Why don't you? Because you're the one that hates them. So.
Don't do it.
No, anyway, so no, the Shocker costume. Like, fuck you, Benny. The Shocker costume
Looks pretty solid, right?
I like it. I mean, see, here's something I think that could go wrong with in Spider-Man is trying too hard. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is great because it's the Ultimate Universe meets traditional Marvel Universe stuff. Like, you have the real world element of the Ultimate Universe combined with a lot of the Marvel history that we know and love. And I think that if they tried too hard with Spider-Man, it could screw up that great formula. And so I think that if it was like, guys, we got to go balls to the wall. All right, this needs to be, like super CGI and Michael Bay and all that kind of stuff. I like the dirty ground in the wool. It looks like it was made out of sheets. Shocker costume, because he's a low-level villain and he should reflect that. He shouldn't
like
be a
he
low-level
built it in
villain
his
with hands.
garage.
Exactly.
No,
like I don't.
Shocker is not that. Now, if Green Goblin looked like that, I'd be a little upset. But Shocker,
exactly.
that's fine. I mean.
Yeah, because
isn't half of his gag like he's always trying to like get away from it or become a big name? Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's just he's always trying, like in Ultimate Universe Shocker, he constantly is robbing banks with his crappy Shocker costume. He's never actually dresses like the Shocker. He's always just using Shocker gauntlets.
Yeah.
And each time that Spider-Man defeats him, he's a little bit more advanced. It's a little better than the last time.
But
he always is
he's like,
defeated.
I lost. I got to go again.
Yeah.
He's a perennial D-lister, but he's one of my favorite D-listers for that reason. Because you got to respect that Shocker doesn't give up, no matter how hard he gets beaten up. He'll be back at it again.
Shut up, Joel.
I mean, I like the Shocker. I like the Shocker. Let me tell you, nothing pushes my buttons like the Shocker. But I think Nick Spencer is good for like making the Shocker kind of legitimately funny and cool.
Definitely.
But I always liked the Shocker as kind of a throwaway villain. I was like, the one that I always think of is there's a moment where, like where Captain America is performing for a bunch of like on stage for a bunch of kids, and then the Shocker shows up and he's like trying to steal, and it's just a moment where Spider-Man like he could easily defeat him and screws up, and he feels like a real idiot. And I'm like, this is fun. Like, just use the Shocker sparingly to illustrate like either Spider-Man's capability or how bad a day he's having.
I like the idea, too, that it seems we're going to see quite a few smaller-scale Spider-Man villains that Peter's going to be able to run through just so they can be in the universe, which I appreciate. You lock them up in prison somewhere because you have a supervillain prison now. Maybe two or three. Yeah, the Raft, and maybe two or three.
Do you think that they'll make a more Spider-Man-friendly one? Because he's got his own like shield prisons.
Like Strikers or
the
whatever.
Raft is kind of one of his things, isn't it?
The Raft is, I think it's a Bendis creation from New Avengers, but
yes, it is.
His was the Vault, and it was, by the way, the Vault was the Spider-Man thing that Sony actually had use of and would have continued to use had they not screwed up so badly. But I think the idea was they closed the Vault and they moved everything to the Raft. I still like the idea of the Raft. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was what a great great use of electro.
I'm gonna start a potential argument here real fast. Okay.
Okay.
How bad were Sony's Amazing Spider-Man reboots, in your opinions? And the reason I ask is because it's simple, because they're not good. Okay? They're not like, oh my god, what this was, but I don't think they're as bad as people shit on them for. And I feel like the reason it was shit on is because it's Sony and not Marvel.
Oh, see, I think there was plenty of bad filmmaking in those movies to hate on, even outside just the fact that it's not Marvel. Everything about that reboot duology, because it was only two, I hated because they were all lateral moves is what they were. They're like, well, I guess we got to change this now because we don't want it to be like the Raimi movie. But Raimi did it pretty good in the other one. Well, got to make it different then. And that was the entire series in a nutshell. We got to do it different because we don't want to be compared to the ones before, even the stuff they got right.
The Amazing Spider-Man series, both of them, the first one is obviously a movie by committee. And the second one is too, but I think it's a better movie than the first one. Because the first one, it is so afraid of just doing the thing that they did last time because they're so close to it, and yet wound up doing the same thing because they were so uncreative. I didn't like the redesign of the outfit. That's like the most cosmetic of complaints. I kind of dug the casting. Like I had no problem with Emma Stone. I really dug Andrew Garfield. Sally Field is inspired casting for like an older Aunt May character. Yeah. There was a lot of like good ideas in there that just didn't work because either Sony had other plans or they were too close to the original material. They were too close to Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 2. I was like, when I left that theater, I was kind of excited. I was like,
were you?
Because I heard that they were like they were already starting to make deals. Like I remember they were planning, the CG department was going to put Oscorp Tower in the Avengers movie and stuff like that. Like there was already rumblings of collaboration. So I was like, it's not necessarily a question of if, but when. And number one, they got the suit right. He looked really cool. I liked the eyes.
Very nice costume.
Number two, they killed Gwen Stacy, which is kind of a ballsy move. You have Emma Stone in contract. You have a love story you could do. The most safe thing you can do is flirt with the idea of doing it, of killing a character like that, but then not doing it, and then having your hero save the day, and everyone's like, hooray. Instead, they killed this girl. And in like a horrible, like seeing Gwen Stacy die, you see her die 1,000 times in the comics, but seeing her die in the movie, it's pretty gut-wrenching.
It's that crunch sound effect when her head hits the floor.
She hits her head on the floor. It's horrifying. And by the way, all the circumstances surrounding how she dies, crappy Green Goblin, crappy Norman Osborn, crappy Harry, crappy...
I'm going to run and do this even though my father and boyfriend keep telling me not to do it, so in a way, they were right.
A lot of that was not very good, but there was a lot of good ideas in there. I liked the idea of making Rhino a joke and making Paul Giamatti just Lady in the Water it up, and that was fun to watch. And also realizing the Rhino suit is like a mech suit, I'm like, that's fun. I'd watch that. Making it like an Oscorp villain that's part of their basement plan is stupid. But like I said, like that last moment where Spider-Man gets the kid out of the way and then goes and fights Rhino, that should have been the movie. And really quick aside, that little boy who's like puts on the Spider-Man costume, it's very blink and you'll miss it, but like this little boy puts on a Spider-Man costume because Spider-Man's not showing up anymore and he's gonna go fight the Rhino and he's gonna die because he's a child. Should have been a black kid. Should have been Miles Morales.
Wouldn't that have been nice?
What the crap? Just what a wasted opportunity.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the movies were good. I just feel like they got more flack than they deserved because they weren't Marvel. Like
there was even dumber stuff in the Amazing Spider-Man movies that ended up on the cutting room floor, like the big reveal that they were gonna do in the first one, moved to the second one and didn't do it, and that is Spider-Man's dad made him Spider-Man. They ripped off that Hulk movie, or the fact that his dad wasn't really dead and was supposed to show up at the end of the second one and say, "With great power comes great responsibility."
I told your uncle that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I said, I'm much happier with him being in the Marvel universe. Don't get me wrong about that. I was just curious, like, about your guys' opinions on that. Like, was it worth the flack it got?
I think they only would have gotten more stupid too, with a Sinister Six possible movie and maybe Black Cat and maybe more.
Those ideas for movies are shitty as hell. Like, why?
See, that's the problem with Sony. Like Sony wasn't looking to the future. Sony was looking to looking at the moment. Sony's like, what can we make out of a good Spider-Man film now? Like that was probably in the fact that they killed off Gwen Stacy. Like why would you do that? Like in the second movie, why would you kill off Gwen Stacy? I guess maybe make room for Mary Jane Watson, but like if Sony had plans to introduce Mary Jane Watson into their Spider-Man films, we would have known about it. Somebody somewhere would have said something, and people would have been like, "Yep, they're talking about having Mary Jane Watson," because it would have been huge, like the most significant love interest of Spider-Man in the last 40 years. It would have been a huge deal. Like she's arguably more important than Gwen Stacy is, and easily more popular. But the fact remains, They didn't do that. They were looking for a movie in the moment, but also they were changing stuff for the sake of changing it. Like the great thing about Marvel is, like the great thing about Marvel changing things in their movies is it adds a little more realism, and it's sometimes it's subtle changes. It wouldn't make any sense to have Tony Stark become Iron Man in the Vietnam War because we're not in the Vietnam War. Like it would make more sense to have him.
Vietnam ended what?
It would make more sense to have him become Tony Stark, in the midst of a Middle Eastern conflict, because that's what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like small changes like that make sense, but then to turn around and have Jamie Foxx play Electro, sure, that's a great idea. But to have him become Electro through some combination of, well, I don't know, it just kind of makes sense and it seems cool, is dumb. Like have him be a guy who was climbing on an electric telephone pole and he got struck by lightning. Done and done. And he becomes Electro.
I like the electric eel thing.
It was silly to me. It's the sometimes simplicity is key.
Birthday.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing too. Like he became Electro because Spider-Man didn't remember who he is. Like, cry me a river, man. Like
he was the Riddler from Batman Returns, is what he was.
Yeah, it's the problem is they have. I mean, you got Spider-Man. You have some of the greatest source material in comic book history. It was a movie made by people who don't understand comics, who don't grasp comics,
because they had
who probably don't
it.
read comics.
Because if they didn't make a new one in 4 years, the rights would go back. So gotta go ahead with what we got.
But having said that, I thought Andrew Garfield was an amazing Peter Parker. I loved Andrew Garfield Peter Parker.
I thought his direction was all wrong. I'm the hip, cool Spider-Man. I skateboard and everything.
And Joel, for once, is the one that hated the movie, and all of us are like, it was watchable.
Yeah.
All right.
I will not budge on Amazing Spider-Man.
It was an amazing movie, Joel. And if you don't like it, you can get out this pocket. Just walk away. Just walk away.
Yeah, I liked Garfield. I liked his approach. It's hard to say whether I really, really like Tom Holland because I've seen maybe 20 collective minutes of him doing things.
That's my argument with the Joker. Everyone's like, what do you think about Jared Leto's Joker? I'm like, think of what? We didn't see anything. Like
I have a theory, by the way, about Jared Leto's Joker that he might not continue to be Joker.
I've heard that.
So?
Because he slagged off the entire production, right?
Well, because he went, because after the movie comes out and they did the re-edit and everything like that, and he came out and said that he felt tricked into being in the movie because he was promised one thing and they delivered another out of editing. And it's like, that's a really hard thing for an actor to admit out loud. It's that you're tricked because either it means that either it damns you or it damns your studio, and either way, no one wants to hire you after that. And it's the kind of thing that one would say if they were burning a bridge. And I'm kind of like, shit, is Jared Leto gonna quit? And by the way, it's hilarious that everyone's main complaint. I know I'm talking about Suicide Squad, but it's hilarious. Everyone was like,
"This one's kind of got a bunch of weird topics today." So
but everyone was like, the problem with Suicide Squad, because I was like, I dug Suicide Squad. What was the one thing you would change? And I'm like, I would have cut Joker out of the movie. And everyone else is like, no, you'd make it more about Joker. Make it Joker the movie with Deadshot. I was like, man, Joker kind of pulled everything away from this movie and made it kind of all about him for a second, and he was significantly cut from the movie. I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, man, I really was not a fan of this Joker, and I really was kind of hoping that he wasn't in it as much as he was. And people were like, not only was he great, but he should have been in it more. And indeed he was. And they wound up cutting a lot of it out. And I'm like,
sure did.
Yeah, see, I feel like Joker taking away from the Suicide Squad film, taking away from the tone, was an editing problem, not a Joker problem. To me, that was an issue with editing. Because the way they edited the movie, it's like, hey guys, we have the Suicide Squad, they're going against Enchantress, they're going against her brother, who's just going to be like a giant guy, and not really do anything. And then, I don't know that much about Enchantress. And then, by the way, Joker's here. And it felt like the way they edited it, it felt like Joker was just tacked on for no reason.
Right.
But
because if you put it in the trailers, though.
Yeah, but I imagine if you get the uncut the director's cut unedited,
which won't come out, they've said.
Probably non-stop in that movie.
Yeah, it'll probably make a whole lot more sense, which is good because it adds a whole different dichotomy to Harley Quinn. If you have more Joker stuff, if you have more Joker stuff in there, her character makes more sense. But that's the problem is unless you're a comic book fan, reading New 52 or just reading DC Comics in general, you're going to walk into that and you're not going to understand what's going on with Harley Quinn and the Joker. It's not going to make any sense.
On a side note, since we're talking about Suicide Squad, I still love we're going to move on to the next topic after this, unless you guys want to add to this, but I still love the argument of the Suicide Squad was ruined because it was all about Deadshot, Harley, and a little bit of Captain Boomerang, and I'm like, have you read the book in 7 years?
Yeah, the majority of New 52
Those are the only ones
stories
who don't
right there.
die.
It's literally, you could rename that book Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang, and it wouldn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
They care so much about those characters.
Back in the 70s and the 80s that there was like a whole different team and everyone else did their own thing. Cool. That's not what they made this about.
Basically, yeah.
They care about Deadshot so much in the newest Suicide Squad run. They go back and retell his origin for a third time
in like
in the
2
new
years. Like 2 years.
Well, okay, but here's the other half of that question too, though. You have a Suicide Squad movie. Who's going to be like who is going to draw the audience in? Will Smith, Margot Robbie, or like
Jai
Courtney?
I will say this.
He's not going to draw very many people.
I do wish that Will Smith had just played Black Manta. I feel like it just it would have just made more sense. And I know it's like a racial thing, but either way, he would have made more sense. Make him Black Manta, then he could have been the villain and Aquaman at the same time. You know, and then I wouldn't have 50 billion comments of when did Deadshot go white? When did they Michael Jackson Deadshot?
You know what's even funnier is how they treated his daughter in the comics. His daughter Zoe, who was half white, half Hispanic, and then in DCU they changed her name to Sue Chin, so now she's half white, half Asian, and then they changed her back again.
Hold on, you're wrong because I looked that up.
Did you?
No, fuck you. Shut up. Don't say a word. Stop. Okay, so yes. Her name is Zoe, right? That's the original one. That's the original one.
Zoe Torres.
Okay, so here's what they did with that because in Most Wanted they retconned his origin a little bit to give him a different daughter. So originally Deadshot had a son and a daughter, and that's what he had. And for whatever the reason, they just got rid of the son. And then for whatever the reason,
no, his son was killed in Bulletproof. A child molester killed him.
No. This is why I told you to shut the fuck up because I looked this up.
Right. I just read Bulletproof.
He's not allowed.
He said, "Shut the fuck up, Joel."
He's not there. When did Bulletproof come out? Because as of June
2005.
this year, he was retconned out.
Go. Yeah, well now he's not even in the comics anymore.
Okay, so shut the fuck up, Joel. Anyway.
By the way, for those of you guys in the comments, no, I'm not saying Jai Courtney was bad. Jai Courtney was amazing. Like he was a
great.
Best he's ever been.
He was a great Captain Boomerang. Like I loved his character, especially the scene where Rick Flag's like, "You guys are welcome to leave," and he just pieces. Like just bails out.
The only thing that's confusing about that is when he comes back. Why?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, as of May and June this year, they released Suicide Squad's Most Wanted, Deadshot and Katana, which retconned his origin again to completely get rid of both kids. He doesn't have either one at all.
Yeah.
To give him the half Asian girl you were talking about, Suchin.
Suchin, yep.
Right, which blew me away because I'm writing that script up. I'm like, who the fuck is Suchin? Because they don't explain it. It's just, this is his daughter now. So I was like, does he have two illegitimate kids? Like,
Wow.
But no, it gets even better. Because as of Rebirth, which as of August, he has his original daughter back, no son.
Well, the son had been gone for a bit, but
No,
yeah,
the son is gone. It doesn't exist, Joel. Shut up.
What got me about the Zoe thing is now Zoe is completely white. She's not even vaguely Hispanic looking. So I'm like, oh, so you took away that too. Huh? What an odd change to make.
But no, it's the funniest thing because the son also is just like literally blown up into the obscurity of canon. Doesn't exist anymore. And the Asian girl is gone too. We're back to Zoe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sucks being Floyd's son.
I love they're starting a hashtag never shut up Joel.
Never shut. I won't.
Hashtag pray for Joel.
Pray for Joel.
Yeah.
Dicks out for Joel.
Hashtag make Joel great again. Well, that'll never happen.
Oh.
Okay, so since we're talking about DC movies, I'm not sure how I feel about this. So the second topic is Jeff John promises a brighter, more hopeful DC cinematic universe. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this because I feel like Warner Brothers is coming at it in absolutes. Like either it's absolutely dark or it's absolutely bright. It's not in between. And that's the great thing about DC Comics. You've got dark stuff and you've got bright stuff. You've got hopeful Superman, I stand for the great things that humanity can do. And then you've got Justice League Dark. I mean, you've got like light and dark. It's a mishmash. You can't have like
had Justice League Dark in a bit, but yes, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, like I mean, you had like the concept. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Shut up,
angels,
Joel.
demons, that kind of thing. Be quiet, Joel. Keep your mouth shut. So you got like,
Never.
I will fight this.
But yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like the dichotomies of light and dark, and like with Superman and Batman. Like Batman's dark, he's mean, he's broody, he doesn't trust anybody, and then you got Superman who's like, look, man, we got to do the right thing. You know, like I like that split between the two, and to me, to go one way or the other, to say like it's got to be brighter or it's got to be darker, it takes away from that. You know, like let Batman be dark, let Superman be bright. You know, like have them offset one another.
Yeah, can't you find a nice happy medium? And I know too, Jeff Johns, he's got a new promotion now. He's got a new place of power, assumedly more pull and more weight to throw around and everything. And yet at the same time, when I hear stuff like this, all I can think is, I will believe it when I see it, Mr. Johns.
Yeah. You know, give me Batfleck, you know, Ben Affleck from Batman versus Superman, and give me, you know, this like the Superman, like, well, I don't think we've ever really had a great Superman movie. Give me like the tone from Superman 1. You know, not really silly, but like the upbeat, you know,
hopefulness of Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Give me those two tones combined. You know, see, that's what I think. That's one of the reasons why Batman vs Superman didn't do too well, is because it was so dark. It was like, you know, what if Superman were like Batman, and then let's put them in a movie.
What
and
if
then
Batman
we'll
was even more violent and crazy?
Yeah, like, you know,
Batman branded people and Superman punched African dictators through walls. What about that?
Yeah.
But don't worry, he didn't kill him. He didn't kill him.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, I mean, I liked the to me, the Man of Steel was a great tone because it was figuring things out. But now we know who Superman is, so let's give us that
jerk.
Let's give us that, like, looking for, because I mean that's the difference. Is this is where I think Warner Brothers kind of missed their thing. I liked the tone of Man of Steel because it was Clark Kent trying to figure his place out in the world, not really sure what to do, you know, feeling overpowered. But then, like, once he killed Zod, that should have been the jumping off point where they were like, where he was like, I can never go back to who I was. I can never go back to that.
And look how much
if I ever go back to
sequel.
that. Yeah, like if I ever go back to that, I'm going to be a dark person. I can't be dark like that. I have to stand up for something great, you know, and then become the Superman that we all know and love. Like, it would have been a great transition, where they didn't do that. He was like, yes, I killed General Zod, and I'm going to keep being broody. Like, no, don't do that, Superman.
They actually did that all, like, you know, it's funny, they're in the, I think it was actually post-crisis, Superman does kill Zod, and Superman is so horrified by the decision that he made that he winds up, like, not giving up being Superman, but he does, like, wind up trying different things. He basically does the Captain America nomad thing, where he goes away and tries different stuff. And it's like, that's the approach you do. Like, Batman vs Superman, if you still wanted to have a brooding Superman, which Batman vs Superman obviously wanted. They wanted a Superman that was always frowning and angry, and
and who doesn't like to save people,
who's just always put upon.
I hate happiness.
You have Superman be like, I'm in a world that needs a Superman, but I don't think I want to be the Superman that they think they need. And so, as such, like, he'll be Superman, like, when there's a comet that's going to destroy the Earth, or, you know, like, when a nuke is going to go off by accident. But for the most part, Superman, like, lets them do their thing, and just is Clark Kent, and tries to kind of actually be a reporter and, like, get in touch with humanity and figure out, like, what kind of Superman am I supposed to be? Reevaluate the whole system. And that way you could still have the scenes where you have Amy Adams with no top on. You still have the scenes where Superman's all, but, like, you just
boobs.
You have your cake and you eat it too. You get to do the things that you wanted to do with an angry Superman, but you actually make it logically make sense.
Well, what about fights, Sal? How can we put fights in that movie, though?
You could easily make foot fights in there by having Batman fill the void that Superman leaves behind. When Superman, like, shows up, he's like, "Hey, guess what? There's an all-powerful creature out there that wants to help humanity and tried save the world, but then he went away." Batman's like, "Thanks for showing up and telling us you could save the world, but have chosen not to anymore." That leaves me with just by myself trying to pick up the slack, and it makes Batman more
sympathetic.
More sympathetic, but more prone to violence, more prone to stress, more prone to extremes. So that you have an extreme Superman, you extreme Batman, and by the end of it, Superman is like, "Oh crap! Like, when I am no longer
where the hell did Vinny go? He just raced out of here."
Right. He's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom now."
Wow.
He's like, Superman is like, I've got, like, when I don't act, people die. And look what happens. Like, Batman, who is already crazy, goes even crazier. So I've got to be Superman for the sake of humanity. You can tie it in with Batman, like, maybe, like, Batman's the one human Superman needed to meet and blah, blah, blah. But, like, whatever the point, you have those two people who are, like, so angry and about each other You know what I mean? Like Batman's like, why did you leave? Like why? Like you know what I mean? Like that's the emotional like.
That sounds like a pitch for a much better movie.
Like that's the emotional crescendo is like you left. That's why I hate you so much. And Superman's like, fuck man, that's deep. Like then you have this understanding, and then they go like, hey, you know what? Like I'm here now. And then the two of them save his mom. There you go. Then you have all the things you wanted, and at the end of the day, it makes sense. Instead of having Superman handle kryptonite for no reason and then try and kill Doomsday all by himself, like, and have him be dead just so he can come back to life in like the first 25 minutes of the next movie. Like, there's no point in killing him. It's just so stupid. Anyway.
Well, see, like, one of the other things, too, like, I don't know if you guys remember it all. There was, if I remember correctly, when they first introduced Terry McGinnis into DC Comics,
yes,
they didn't give him his own ongoing series. He had, like...
That horrible Future's End he was stuck in.
No, there was one, it was like the equivalent of an Elseworlds or something like that, where it was like... like Lex
Batman
Luthor...
Yeah, you're talking about the original appearance,
the original appearance.
appearance.
Like Lex Luthor had like poisoned Metropolis with kryptonite, so Superman couldn't go into the city.
Right.
And so like there were reports of, criminals like vanishing, and Superman was just like zipping in and out of the city really fast and taking people out. See, to me, that's a good Superman story. Or take the Kingdom Come approach, where instead of Alan Scott sitting outside of the Earth in his citadel waiting for it's Superman just sitting out there. Like, see, to me, that's how you use Superman intelligently, where it's not like, I mean, having the character development of the Man of Steel, cool. We've all had opinions on the direction it could have taken. Yeah. But now, like to me, Superman, like you use him sparingly, you focus on the character of Superman. Like you focus on what he does, how he functions. To me, that's a great story. Like that's a great direction to take with him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with that.
For the record, guys, I didn't run from an intelligent conversation. I was listening, and I don't enjoy interrupting the two of them because, unlike Joel, they make intelligent conversations, and I needed coffee. So that's it.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee right now too. Like I'm drinking some. It's
I was like, gotta go.
But I wanted to get back in a hurry because they all watched me because I forget the camera's angled now, so you can see all the way into like our walkway and our fridge and everything.
Yeah, there you go.
So when I get up, you can see the whole way. So they just see me get up and run and run.
Just run away.
What kind of magnets do you have on your fridge? You have all sorts of magnets. I have Superman magnets.
Conventions and stuff. Like these are the ones that we just get given to us. There's the Star Wars ones. There's the donut from Simpsons.
Nice.
Monster Hunter. It's just the ones that send us for things.
Sweet.
What did you ever do with those pin things that you got at Disney World?
They're all over here. I'm gonna put them on something.
Benny was like, we should join the pin club, and then like we never did. I never did anything.
I know. I jokingly said it, and you're like, yo, dude, let's do this. And we spent like $200 of pins, and the very next day, Rob's like, I'm not bringing these.
You guys go to Disney a lot, so I'm sure you've seen like those Disney like biker gangs that walk around with like the vests and everything, and they've got like Sons of Midway on the back of it and everything.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
That's Google that if you don't believe me, everyone. There's like
while
Disney
Joe is
gangs.
accurate, Joel, shut up. What's the next topic?
The next topic is Joe Mangatiliano.
Oh, actually, hold on. Wait, we are going to do that in a minute. I just want to remind everyone here: if you are in the New York area during New York Comic Con, the entire cast, including Joel, will be at the weekly poll. We'll be doing a signing. We'll be doing a panel. We're going to be doing a lot of other things over there. So if you are going to be in the New York area, tweet us, follow us. We'll be chatting with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget about us.
Yes. Stacked week.
I meant to say at the beginning, but then I segued myself with the gaming channel thing and whatever.
God, dude, why don't they bring back what's his name from the Arrow TV show? He was a great Slade Wilson.
They did, didn't they?
From the
That's
Arrow show?
back.
No, he's not going to be Deathstroke.
No. Okay, wait, hold on. That's what that's the topic you have right there, right, Joel?
Yeah.
For the solo Batman movie, Rob just read the first part and wanted to go off on his own thing, as he is wont to do.
I was like, no.
Whatever.
I thought they got the guy from the Arrow TV show to do him. That was the whole big deal.
No. It's Joe Manganiello for the solo Batman.
Who was the guy in the show then? Because I thought that was him.
Well, we'll call him Joe Manga.
It's not Batu Bennett or whatever. It's a different guy.
Oh, okay. I thought they were the same guy. I didn't realize they were different. Okay.
I can't tell one.
Okay, hold on. They're both muscle-bound guys with six-packs, abs, the same haircut, and a beard. So whatever.
The perfect kind of 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, I can understand why you'd be confused. But yeah. It's official now. It was a rumor before. He will be Deathstroke, and yes, it will be for a solo Batman movie, which leads me to believe the little snippet of footage we saw was just like a costume test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat
Actually, they
knows
might
who's
have been.
who.
I can imagine that they were like shooting a little bit of Justice League, and there's going to be like some cut to Gotham, and they're like, "We got the Gotham set. Stick the Deathstroke guy in the Gotham set and see how it looks."
Is that our post-credit stinger, you think?
Yeah.
My
maybe.
question is, why don't they use Manu Bennett?
Because they're not
oh my
using
God,
anyone
Rob,
from
we were
the
just
TV
talking about that.
shows.
They don't
Why
want
don't,
to
no, I'm saying, like, I don't know. Do what?
the actual excuse between like Grant Gustin not being the Flash and Oliver Queen not being Arrow, the guy, whatever.
Stephen Amell.
Is they don't want to mix those two. That is how they're going to differentiate the universes, just like they used to do with the cartoons, that they would get different voice actors per universe.
Yes. Nobody wants to see a split. People want to see a cohesive universe.
We do, but they don't care.
Yeah.
Well, that's why their shit's not doing very well either.
That's what you can do when you own all the rights to all your toys.
They just suck at movies right now.
Yeah, that's why the movies aren't. Yeah, that's why the movies aren't doing
I
very
much
well
prefer
either.
the TV universe, and I really only watch Flash, and I still prefer that universe.
Let me ask you guys right there in the chat: how many of you guys would want to see Grant Gustin play the Flash in a movie?
Don't matter what
Instead
the
of
law
Ezra
says,
Miller, yeah, probably everybody.
Because he's an amazing Flash.
Yeah. No, he is. He embodies that character the way he should be.
Yes,
the humor,
he's
the
great.
serious tones, everything about him. My only complaint is
the
that
Flash
he's
of
got
this
dark
generation.
hair. I want to see in Flashpoint he gets blonde hair.
Yeah.
You can dream. You can get a dye job.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if he meets his alternate version and they troll every fan with that. Could you
Someone's at
imagine
my
that? They
front
just
door,
troll
back.
everyone. They're just like, oh look, blonde hair Barry, he's back.
Yeah. So you look at that. There's a couple people who are like no because they're wrong, but they're like a majority of people are like yeah, definitely.
I mean, you can argue that they want to have separate universes, and what this is allowing them to do, I will side with them to an extent. Okay, this is allowing them. Look at it from a business standpoint for a second. Let me be the devil's advocate on this argument here. Okay. From a business standpoint, if we get movie actors, now for the movies, you're going to get movie actors. You're not going to get Grant Gustin. So if we were going to do this in the beginning, it would have been Ezra Miller. Now imagine paying Ezra Miller to be the Flash for 24 episodes a season. On the flip side, you turn Grant Gustin into a fully fleshed out movie star thanks to this movie of being the Flash. And what are you going to get? You're going to get a much higher paid Grant Gustin on the TV show.
Yeah.
That is a good point because he would be like, I want more money.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you?
Like
Hey, I'm your
I
movie.
would.
You can't do shit without me. Now, on the flip side of this,
That's
if
a
you
good
keep
point.
them separate, this also allows you to use the same characters, such as giving a Superman on the Supergirl TV show.
That is a really good point. I didn't think about
but
that.
our
I mean,
Superman
I
and Supergirl
still say
TV
you're
show?
wrong, but no.
The Superman. I mean, I'm not saying I would not much prefer having our actual
no.
guys in the movies, but our Superman on the TV show probably makes nothing that Henry Cavill makes. Let's just
Oh,
go in.
not even close.
let's go ahead and say that.
Not even close.
So,
No.
I mean, you're in a situation where if you're going to use the Flash, and let's say it's Grant Gustin, you've made him into a movie star, you've now just risen the rate of the show to where you're just paying Grant Gustin to be there.
Well, not only that, people are going to sit down, like those people who are going to go into the show because of the movie are going to expect movie quality stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get it, yeah.
I mean, why do you
They
think we
get the
don't...
same complaints as they get for the Shield show, where they were like, "Yo, I didn't come here to watch people like being
Power Ranger
spies.
action.
I came here to watch superheroes." And I'm like, "Well, then you came to the wrong network."
I mean, the fact of the matter is, just look at the situation with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why do we not get anyone but Coulson? That's
Right. Or Sith.
Right. Because we don't get Thor, we don't get Captain America, because think about how those guys are getting multi-million dollars to show up on the movie. For one episode, you could probably almost guarantee the ask price is like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the question is, like, why was season 1 so low budget? Because they had to save all their money for the appearance of Samuel Jackson at the end. So, like...
I don't know. The dude was in the spirit. You know they didn't give him that.
No,
He was in the whole movie.
But for the record, I have a weird feeling Samuel L. Jackson does half his roles because he goddamn feels like it.
I swear
was
to
him,
God,
I
like, if we just called Samuel L. Jackson, there's a 50-50 shot he might show up.
I just like being in movies.
Yeah.
I really, he's in way too much for his ask price to be insane. Like,
Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't like a complete series like an eight picture deal between Samuel L. Jackson and Nicolas Cage as a buddy cop aging person movie. Where just the two of them are like, I like being in movies. I like cameras on me, lights and stuff. If there's a big table full of food every morning, then I'm in.
And yet the funny thing is, from what I understand, he takes every role 100% seriously. He will memorize his script verbatim. He will not joke around. He will not break. So even though he's in everything, he takes it totally seriously.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic, though. I mean, and that's the reason why I personally feel like we don't get... Yeah, you'll get some TV stars that make their break onto the movies as these villains and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But now they're a movie star, and you get paid more as a movie star. I mean, you just...
Can I just say... Did any of you guys watch Peggy Carter, like the newest season of Peggy Carter?
Yes, I did.
I have not
really
watched that since past episode 2.
I enjoyed it.
Madame Mask was the villain in that movie.
She was.
Or in that show, and she was so good that I was really... Because like they're dealing with what was it called? What was that matter called?
Oh, yeah.
They were using magic and shit. And there's like a portal that takes you places, and I was like, oh... This is going to be their way of getting a real villain into this freaking show. They're going to pull Madame Mask and then bring her into the future and make her into the present and make her a real character. No, they didn't do that. But, man, what a waste. What a waste.
How great was Red Foreman in that season, too, as Mr. CIH? I kept waiting him to say, hey, Peggy Carter, don't make me kick your ass.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that for the record, that is just my theory. We don't. I mean, it could just simply be WB's like, no, we don't want to do that.
I mean, that's a smart road to take, though. Yeah, that's a pretty good theory.
I mean, a lot of people like to question various actions. I love people who get super defensive over a lot of companies and stuff like that, and they like to, they're only about the money. I'm like, yes, but at the same time, there may be a smarter reason behind the move. You know?
Yeah. Well, like they've been doing this a lot longer than you.
Yeah.
So, like, they probably have at least some kind of justification for it. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a good one. Like, people who have been doing, like, horrible things for a lot longer than you doesn't, like, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean...
Right, yeah, I mean, maybe they don't understand your superhero, but they probably understand how business works in getting people to do these roles.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm fine with the setup the way it is now. I like my Flash TV show. I don't want the movies getting mixed up in that.
Honestly,
you know?
I think it'd be a little weird because the DC TV shows is not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is dipping its toe into the Marvel Universe, but it's too scared to do anything because what if the movies change it or alter it, or what if we say something that we can't do?
It's a nice supplemental piece,
right,
and you know whenever there's a new movie coming out, you're going to get a crossover. That's about it.
But with the Flash and the Supergirl TV shows, they can do what they need to do because this is their universe. Imagine
That's right.
how weird the first 2 episodes of Supergirl would be if Superman showed up and it was Henry Cavill, and they had to reference everything. Like,
that would be confusing.
Hey, how's it going? By the way, did you know about that Bat guy? Like, apparently he hasn't shown up in your universe yet, but he's here. Here's a Batman guy over here.
At the very least, how weak it would be. Yeah. How weak it would be when Supergirl was not going to come into the movies, or
Well, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and imagine Henry Cavill does show up, and then the movie shows around. Oh, what's he going to make a fun Easter egg of? Oh, my sister Kara can't make it this week. Or my cousin Kara can't make it this week. You know, she's off world. She's like the excuse they use for Superman the entire first season.
They can't keep doing
that. For the record,
Super
I'm just gonna go to a little rant. I just binge-watched Supergirl, and so much shit in that show doesn't make sense.
Yeah, dude, I saw the pilot and then never watched it again.
No, I watched the whole goddamn thing, Rob. Like at one point, hey, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Just plug your ears for like a minute.
Oh, dude, you're not gonna spoil it for me because I'm never gonna watch it.
Hank Henshaw gets outed. Like the entire world knows his true identity. I'm not gonna go into what it is in case you haven't watched it, but they know his entire identity, and he has the ability to change his identity. And what does he do? He doesn't. Like, I'm not talking like a few people early in the show who find out who he really is. I'm talking the entire world knows who he is. And his response is, instead of hiding very well, I really like this Hank Henshaw skin.
Well, I mean, like, as infuriating as Gotham.
Or the season finale when Brainiac, which, by the way, was the worst looking Brainiac I have ever seen in my life. Did you guys see Brainiac 8? Sal, you of all people. Oh,
I didn't even know Brainiac was
Look up Indigo, Brainiac. Look her up real quick. Brainiac 8. Look her up. Worst one ever. Takes over the goddamn world. They're like, and this was the biggest thing. This right here, if they were not bringing a Superman next season, would have been my moment of, I'm done with your show.
Oh my god, dude, she looks like shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only seeing the comic version. I gotta look up the TV version then.
Yeah. here's the kicker though. So this is the moment, the season finale of the show. I'm not gonna explain what happens. I don't want to spoil it for people, but here's the moment that if I didn't know Superman was showing up in the next season, I would have been done. This is it. She says,
dude, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It looks like a bad Mystique cosplay.
That's what I was thinking, man.
So Kara is fighting Brainiac 8, and she's like, hey, I'm going to call my cousin in. Brainiac 8 has taken over the entire city. We're having a classic Superman-style story going on, right? So she calls up Superman, and we see in a distance, he flies in, and then immediately gets overrun by Brainiac, and is out of the picture. He doesn't even appear.
And you see his feet, don't you?
Yeah, and then you see his feet in the second episode, and it's like, that's if you were not bringing in Superman, I would have been done. This would have been
That's your Superman cameo. You get to see his boots.
Dude, this is one of the worst looking. I mean, just like, I mean, and let me say, dude, I've seen, like, I saw Frankenfish. All right, like, I've seen bad, like, I saw Zombievers. It's literally a movie about zombie beavers that attack people.
I know what that's dirty.
This looks like something I'd see in a movie of less quality than that. Like, this
the
is...
shocking thing is that the Supergirl show occasionally does get good costumes. Their Silver Banshee looked 100% comic accurate.
Awesome. Here's the kicker. Not only does this look bad, but they didn't always get the makeup right. So, like, her lips would be blue sometimes, but then it would be pink because she just put on lipstick or something stupid, or her face would be uncovering. Like, they weren't on top of keeping her blue. It was just bad. Bad.
This makes me appreciate
she would stretch her limbs, and it would just look like the 1990s Mr. Fantastic trying to stretch.
Jesus.
It was like they
appreciate
blew their
Flash
budget
more.
on that CG Superman flying in and landing.
Real weird.
Dude, I am glad I did not. Dude, I'm glad. Dude, that if I had watched, let me tell you something, man. If I'd have watched that, and like I was just sitting here working on a script, I just turned around and I saw that, and I was just in the wrong frame of mind, I would have just walked away from comic book TV shows forever. Like, I would have been like, you know what? I'm never watching a comic book TV show again.
Thank God it's in CW's hand, and the first 2 episodes, it's almost like CW being like, don't worry, kids. We got this.
We got this.
We got this.
We're not
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes have Superman, and they've already leaked all the... Is that on your list, a part of the Superman leak? That I just
no, was that a thing?
Okay, well, then we might as well do it then, because I've just segued into a great topic.
Go for it.
Images of Superman for the CW universe have leaked out, and his interactions with Kara.
Ooh, do we have images?
There are tons of images.
And they're hanging out doing the super family thing.
Right. I gotta see how he plays the role. I'm not 100%. There's a lot of backlash coming out of these images. I'm not against it. He looks to me like a younger Superman, like a New 52 style Superman. That's what he looks to me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, dude, I'm not opposed to this. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I think he looks all right. What do you guys think in the comments about the new appearance of him?
I mean, he doesn't. I mean, it isn't. He looks like.
Looks like
I mean,
Superman
he
to
doesn't
me.
look. He doesn't look like the older experience. I've seen some shit Superman, but
No.
I mean, but you also got to keep in mind they're going for a younger, edgier look too.
Exactly.
So.
He looks like Crime Syndicate Superman. Like, he looks like
Ultraman?
Ultraman.
Oh my God! You change some of that shit around, and you have the perfect Ultraman. That's
He
an
really looks
episode.
like Ultraman.
That's an episode they got to do right there. Supergirl goes to the Crime Syndicate universe, and it's the same actor, just in a
Screw
different.
that. Just make this Superman Ultraman.
Oh, wouldn't that be a swerve?
You were wrong.
I mean, I'm excited to see him in the show. I want to see how they're going to do it, and a lot of the scenes have shown that he's going to be. Now that I've watched the whole season, I know everything. A lot of the sscenes have shown him going down in the DEO and going down and talking to Hank Henshaw, and he's dealing with them, and they've gone over why he doesn't trust the unit. The way the season ended was great, and if you all want to jump in at season 2, the whole thing that they've discovered is Supergirl's been trusting the government. We find out why Superman doesn't. Because basically, Supergirl's foster father has been kidnapped by the U.S. government and is in a secret facility known as Cadmus. And that facility is known for capturing aliens and using experiments to try and transfer their abilities into humans. And we have no idea why Jeremiah was kidnapped and brought there, but he was. And that's the reasoning why Superman doesn't trust the U.S. government, which explains why he's going to show up in the first couple of episodes.
Right, and that's Dean Cain, right? Could you imagine if they tried to give Dean Cain some superpowers in the Supergirl show?
That'd be great.
So that's what the plot is
hilarious.
going now. The first season was honestly kind of weak. It was just kind of like, girl finding a way. Should she get a boyfriend?
choppy.
Should she be a Supergirl? What should she do? But now the CW's got it. I'm on board. I got this.
Yeah.
Huh.
There you go. That's cool.
I just want to see Superboy Prime show up and just wreck everybody in the CW universe.
I still think it would have been amazing if they had gotten Tom Welling though.
Oh yeah.
And they just linked all of that together. And
there's no reason for them not to do that.
That would have been the most. Well, they had to because there's so many things that they've used in the Tom Welling universe. Like they did a Flash, they did a Supergirl.
You know what you do? You just explain. You just have you explain it by having them have a crisis, or say that Flashpoint happened before Tom Welling shows up as Superman.
I don't know.
So like Tom Welling Superman shows up, and it's like, oh, like
or they just don't even acknowledge that that Smallville is in the universe. Just he's Superman.
Yeah, just whatever. I mean, Tom Welling. It's funny in the last episode of Smallville, he wears the Brandon Routh outfit, so it's like
sure does.
They don't care.
Well, that was a big thing. It was like is it because that was like, is he ever going to have the Superman costume?
Well,
like, is he ever going to put on the costume?
That was actually one of their day one things where they were like, he will never have a cape. It's like
no flight, no tights.
That was the fun side note. That's how Smallville got greenlit. He will never fly or wear the costume. Because CW or whoever it was, because it wasn't even CW then, whoever it was like,
WB?
It was WB. We can't do a superhero TV show. And the response was, no, we're going to ground it down to earth. He'll never fly and he'll never have the costume. And that's why,
how times change.
Right, well, that's why for the first 5 seasons, he never did those things. And then they started giving him costumes, but I think it became a running gag to not make it the Superman costume. Like,
yes. You know what's interesting about that? I was like, that was the thing I was more excited for was the
Red Robot says it was season 4 that he finally flew, but either way, the initial seasons that was the mandate.
Yeah, the idea that they came up with, which was right before Batman Begins came out or was being developed, was a spin-off show called Wayne.
I remember that
about a sexy young Bruce Wayne
traveling the world.
There you go. You can take it from here, Joel.
Yeah, I was just saying, travel the world, learning.
Joel, you gotta stop finishing everyone's sentence. We're not married couples with you. God damn it, just let them talk.
Not yet, we're not.
God,
never.
Man. Joel, man, what is your deal?
Like today, dude. Like we make a joke about the interrupting, but today you've just been like finish everyone's sentence mode. Like 100%. What the fuck, dude?
I'm into the conversation. Sorry, Jesus.
Yeah, well, then you listen.
and then.
So I got up to get a drink to let these two talk, but you want to become Sal.
Fine, whatever. You
Sal,
can
you
take
were saying
the
about the Wayne show. Sorry.
Oh, just it was a neat idea. I wish it happened, but then they made Batman Begins, which is basically like a 20-minute version of the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Joel.
Right?
Joel, here, I'm going to give you a Band-Aid here.
You have anything to offer, Joel?
I have nothing to offer. I am all tapped out with nothing to offer.
Oh.
Don't worry, Chad. Joel will finish somebody's sentence here in a little bit.
Wow, Mr. Agu is hashtag gay for Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had to be.
Wow.
So our next topic is that Alan Moore quits comics.
Oh,
no one cares about. Like,
Say it ain't so.
Dude, I saw your all's discussion down in the chat. You were like, Alan Moore sticks his head out every once in a while.
Yeah, like I saw 2 articles in which Alan Moore gave relevant recent quotes, which means that Alan Moore must need money because he's come out from hiding for a little while. And he's like, hey everybody, I still exist, remember me? And like, and what does he have to say? The same shit he's been saying since he was working with comics to begin with, which is that the comic book industry is bullshit, that everyone likes superheroes, that superheroes are for man-children. Like, oh, wow, what a revolutionary idea, Alan. Thanks for stopping by and being the broken record you've been for the last 30 years.
So I guess he saw his shadow and ran back into the cave.
I mean, unless, well, I don't know. I mean, he's only done the 2, but who knows? Dude loves a microphone, so there's no question that he will have more things to say about quitting comics forever.
Meanwhile, Alan Moore has written Killing Joke, which is like one of the seminal Batman stories, and he's like, I hate it. It's stupid. I didn't want to do it.
I hate it. It's dumb. Comics are bad. People who read them are children and idiots, and it's awful. Just everything's stupid and lame.
Wow.
Cool, man. Cool story.
But you know what? Him quitting's not even that big of a deal. I mean, it is a big deal. We're losing some good stories. But on the flip side of that, the man is 62.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't mean he's out of ideas. I mean,
but not only is he 62, but he looks like he's 92.
Well, yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
when you are a wizard, the dark arts will drain your soul and your body.
You just made Alan Moore a wizard.
He's the original Death Eater.
Yeah.
Like, not only do we all joke around that he's like occasional Radagast stand-in, but he does think he's a wizard.
To put that into perspective for you too, Benny, you were talking about how old he is. Jerry Conway is 64 and still writes comics.
Dude wrote a Carnage series.
Well, no, I mean, you're 100% right about that, because, I mean, Stan Lee was still trying to make new superheroes, and the dude's like 90-something and finally got to quit the comic circuit. But what I'm saying is, at around 60 to 65, not everyone wants to keep working. Some people just want to be like, I've done my life, I'm retiring, I'm done. That's the end of it.
Yeah, but see, here's a difference, though. Like, Jerry Conway is still a pretty reasonable comic book writer. Stan Lee is almost done with all his living, so he's kind of losing
almost done with
his mind. Yeah, and Alan Moore looks like Charles Manson. Like
sure does.
What could, like, if you sat Charles, like, she said Charles Manson. If you sat Alan Moore down now and was like, hey, write a story, like, he would write some shit. Like, it would be weird as hell.
Yes.
And no one would understand it except for him. Like, you guys think Grant Morrison's weird. Like, it'd be a whole nother level of just, I don't understand what's going on. Like, Batman would be like a witch, you know, and like he created Superman using sorcery. Like, it'd be some of the weirdest shit ever.
Has anybody been reading the last thing he's been working on? Providence, I want to say it was
I didn't
called.
even know he was working on anything right now.
No, I didn't know he was working on anything.
He has been. He participated in a thing that was called, like, I think it was called, like, it was a Comic-Con online. It was like a virtual Comic-Con, and he's signed like 1,000 copies of his book or his comic book that no one read and bought. And, like, that's the thing, is that, like, you know, Alan Moore quits comics. Like, yeah, kind of, but it's more like people stopped reading Alan Moore comics about 15, 20 years ago. Like, I mean, like, you know, yeah, I mean, people, and you know, there's going to be some jackass who's going to be like, I've read everything that he's written, and the things that he's written now are even better than he's ever built.
Like, no, it's the same thing. The same thing with Grant Morrison. I mean, Grant Morrison's biggest claims to fame are Sandman and stuff from like 10 to 20 years ago, between that gap. But he's still writing today. I think Faust is the only one reading it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like,
I read the occasional Morrison.
Yeah. But everyone talks about you know, some people will still trip over themselves about how great Grant Morrison is, even though they all prefer his Doom Patrol. And yet with Alan Moore, it's more like, you know, you have to bend over backwards to find the stuff that he's writing now, and when you do, you read it and it's like so deliberately esoteric, it's kind of hard to get in on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Grant Morrison creeps me out, dude.
You want to know a great example of one that shouldn't be? Just to follow up, so people understand what we're talking about here. Not every comic book is easy to get in on, and they don't care if you can get in on them. I just got done rereading the Hickman. I think it was Hickman. No, who wrote the Uncanny X-Force 2012? Was it Remender?
I want to say yes.
Remender.
Yeah, it was.
I just finally finished that up, and we're completing it on the channel. But when I read that when it came out, I didn't realize how convoluted and batshit crazy that shit got.
Oh, it's hard to get into.
Oh my god! Even I'm already into it, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
You
said
Uncanny
that's not how you
X-Force?
should be reading a comic. You shouldn't be reading it like, I'm lost. You know, I shouldn't have to analyze every panel to see if I know exactly what happened in this panel.
Did you say Uncanny X-Men or Uncanny X-Force?
X-Force.
Yeah, see that one's not difficult, because that one just comes out of that comes out of the post House of, what is it, Decimation? Does that include Messiah War?
That's the one where they killed the Apocalypse Child at the very beginning of the series.
Yeah.
And then for all the 25 issues, or 26, 27, whatever, or 30, whatever it was, it's pretty much just situations of, did you do right or wrong? And they do even weirder and weird. Like, it starts out like perfectly normal. You're like, oh yeah, was it right or wrong? Okay, well, we're going to deal with Phantomex and his whole thing. Oh, now we're going to deal with Deathlock in the future. And now we're going to deal with Merlin's world. And now we're going to deal with Age of Apocalypse people. And now we're going to go over here. Like, what?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a good run, which one, but it's so convoluted.
Which one am I thinking of? Because there's one that dealt with, like, Messiah War, and they went to the future. They fought Strife. Like, they found Deadpool like 500 years in the future. Is that the second run of it?
I think there's one immediately following it, because at the end of Volume 7, and this one they disband after finally dealing with everything.
Oh, okay.
Just to put it in perspective, I actually brought up the synopsis for Providence, which is the Avatar Press book that Moore is writing, and he says once he's done this, he's done. There's 10 of 12 issues out right now. It's a series that takes place in 1919, centers around a homosexual writer in New York who deals with Cthulhu and Lovecraftian stuff.
Okay.
Oh, that's X-Force Volume 3 before Uncanny X-Force.
If that speaks to you, cool, but it's like, I mean, I don't know. He's writing for himself, and that's what you should all do, but at the same time, whatever. Like, does it have any, is it going to change the industry? No. Is it going to have any bearing on most, the average comic book reader? Not really. Like, he's just writing to write, I think. Yeah. I mean, like, good for him.
Oh, no, it's good that he's doing it. I mean, if he's done with it, then just, I at this point is like if Alan Moore was 40 and was like, I'm done with comics, I'd be like, what are you going to do then,
Right.
But at
I heard
62,
rumors,
I'm like, all right, man, you've had a good run. You've had.
I thought the rumor was he wants to write for movies, and I'm like, well, good luck.
Hope so.
Dude, I would never go see an Alan Moore movie.
I like Alan Moore that I like Grant Morrison, just because I can understand Alan Moore on a more regular basis.
Right.
No, okay, here's a problem with Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison looks like the dude that if the like the whole of humanity united under a singular government, he would be the dictator running it all. Like that's what he looks like to me, and it scares the hell out of me. Grant Morrison is gonna take over the world.
You want to know someone else who looks weird? Since we're just making fun of writers who look weird, Neil Gaiman. I don't understand that guy at all.
Oh yeah.
I like what he
like
does. I like to cut up his jib for the most part, but yeah.
He looks like he never left the 70s. Like, it's weird.
All right, what's next on the thing?
Okay, so from there we have probably one of the biggest pieces of news. We were laughing at this the other night. It was announced that Civil War II will take to the end of 2016 to finish.
Oh my god!
Okay, for the record, guys, I'm literally recording a vlog tomorrow because I've been doing a series on my channel because I got to do more FaceTime on the channel. So I've been doing a series where I explain intricacies about the industry that we all love, like why does the superheroes change? Why does this happen? Why does that happen? And I'm going to explain why books take so long to come out. All of you guys asking, do Civil War II. Do Civil War II. How? Shit just got extended to January.
Damn thing hasn't come out. What do you want me to do?
And now it won't be over until 2016. The way they're going to do it is we're going to get one new issue every month until the end of the year.
And it was supposed to be a twice monthly series. Wasn't it originally ending in November?
No, it was originally ending like October. Like within the next like month, it was supposed to be done.
Right, because the event, just like what happened with All Different Marvelous Secret Wars, the events of Civil War II are supposed to be launching the new wave of Marvel.
Only now we're catching up.
So once again, our event situation, just like Secret Wars, is not going to end on time, and we're going to be left with a state of Marvel that makes no sense because we don't know how it ended.
We know how it ends. They're gonna Secret Wars it up and release this new status quo before the damn thing's over. And betray just how useless and unnecessary it was to begin with.
Because they gotta do that.
It's gonna live true to when, like I've been saying, Alex Alonso was like, we did this to capitalize on the movie.
Oh, I've said this since the beginning. I said at the beginning, I was saying that this story is not the story that they're claiming it is. This story is something that was sitting on an editor's shelf for the last umpteen whatever. And what he did was they pulled it out of the shelf and we're like, all right, that's make it Civil War II because it looks like they're fighting here.
Here's all we know. Like, here's Civil War II is a major character dies. They just put it in brackets. Whoever you can spare, I don't care. And
Hulk,
Iron Man's
not important right now.
No, I know, but that's the thing. Like, Civil War II wasn't even like a draft. It was just like a bullet point thing of things to do, and they were like, kill a big character, replace Iron Man with a girl, and have Carol Danvers be demonized, like be half popular and half not popular.
Right. They want to make Carol Danvers a thing in the universe, so when they start hyping up Captain Marvel.
Dude, Carol Danvers was already a thing in the universe.
Right. It was already...
Well, here, and I will take this. I understand what they're trying to do, because Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel is a well-known thing amongst comic book fans, but name me a non-comic book fan that can name Carol Danvers. Like they know
Captain Marvel.
Huh?
They know Captain Marvel.
They know the name half the time, but they don't know who the fuck it is.
It's a legacy hero. There's been numerous people who have used it.
Yeah, here's a real quick example of how little anyone knows who Carol Danvers is. I used to be a member of a lake in town. You know, like where you swim and you pay your dues and you go and you
a lake. It's a place.
Of a lake.
We call them water holes here in Kentucky.
Yeah, well, this one was like they own, like it was it's a place that is owned by an organization, and you can swim in the lake and you pay a fee and blah blah blah. And we had a family membership, and their membership cards were really really simple pieces of paper you could easily forge. And so I did, and I forged one for everyone that I knew. So I made 7 of them. And I had a couple of friends who were female who needed aliases. Everybody needed an alias, and the one girl that actually wound up using it was Carol Danvers. And I knew that no one would recognize that name, and she used it a lot. And no one ever was like, Carol Danvers! And by the way, membership number was like the issue number that she appeared in. Like, I was really nerdy about it. Like,
Wow.
My buddy was, I pushed it so far, one of my friends was Warren Worthington III. Like, just to see how far I could push it, and we got a whole summer of just free memberships at the lake. It was great.
Yeah, you should have supposed to lie down as Clark Kent to see if they would have caught it.
Well, I think that's the problem right now. And us comic book fans know Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, yes, but I think non-comic book fans will recognize the name Captain Marvel, but they don't know if Captain Marvel's in Marvel or who it is or what it is, that kind of a thing. And I think
don't know who she is.
And I think that's a problem that Disney and Marvel are dealing with right now. Look, regardless of how good Wonder Woman is and how good the movie is, how good the comics are, you know who the fuck Wonder Woman is. Everyone can
knows.
recognize Wonder Woman. She's maybe not as world recognizable as Batman and Superman, but she's definitely up there.
She is, because she's the woman.
Yeah.
She's the female superhero.
Yeah. And that's just it. Marvel doesn't have that. The closest they got was Black Widow, but I honestly feel like if they had made a Black Widow movie 5 years ago when they started this crap, we all would have been on board. But I feel like it's too little too late now. Like, you pretty much have used Scarlett Johansson as a side character for, I don't even know how many movies at this point.
Yeah.
You can't give her a movie because there's no interest there. The universe is just too big now.
She should have a movie. And by the way,
she should have had a movie. At this point, I don't think it's going to matter.
She should have one now. Deadpool it. Make it $5 million. Put it, make it really, really cool and quiet. Make it like Dredd, where she's sealed in her building that you can reuse sets for, and just make it really violent and awesome. Make it R-rated, and be like, you know what? We're not going to make our money. Make it then make it R, and make it like Scarlett Johansson says the F word and kills people, and you see blood and crap, and just go all out and make it $5 million. Make your $100 million and be done with it. And then everyone shuts up and they go, and then you have a new argument where everyone's like, why are you making more movies like Black Widow? And then you can argue why you're not making the action figures and the t-shirts, by the way, because it's R-rated and kids aren't going to buy t-shirts and action figures for an R-rated character. That's how you make your justification for not making action figures of Black Widow. You don't say because girls don't buy action figures. No. And or boys don't buy female action figures. No. You say, this is a movie that is for adults, and it's a character that no one even notices in the movies anyway, and that's not true. I'm just saying, by and large, nobody is pretending to be Black Widow on the playground, except unless it's a girl who wants to play and is like, I don't have any characters that are like me, what am I going to do? You make it like that. You make a hard R, really, really low budget, but super freaking cool, Dredd-esque movie with Black Widow. And if you want to go even ultra cheap with it, make it a Netflix exclusive.
That would be amazing.
And that's the movie, and you solve your problem, because it's inexcusable that you don't have a Black Widow movie at this point.
I'm looking right now. There's a topic we didn't get to talk about, unless you guys did while I wasn't here. But yeah, you didn't talk about it. And we can move over to this next, and I'll do it. Or go ahead. But go ahead. Sorry, but it's the DCEU leaks.
Ah, yes. Let's go for it.
You want to just move it? Rob was going to say something about the Captain Marvel.
Those seem incredibly unrealistic to me. I looked at those leaks. I didn't. Those.
Well, here's the only reason why. At first, it was just leaks, and I was kind of ignoring it. Supposedly, Kevin Smith has come out and said, "Yes, this reflects a list that I saw."
Oh.
Now, whether or not they stick to that, we still don't know. But the story is, guys, September 1st, there was a massive DC Extended Universe leak. Everyone wasn't sure if it was legit or not, or what the situation was. Recently, in another article, Kevin Smith came out and said, yes, that match day list I saw. We still don't know if that's going to mean anything, but the leaks are, I think I found a list. Screen Geek managed to save the list. Here it is. Okay. The initial post is taken down, but we managed to get it. So this is at screengeek.net. I'll go ahead and link it so you guys can read it if you want to.
Right.
Cool.
It's in the chat if you guys just want to grab it, because I can't alter this right now, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new subscriber. Apparently we need a splooge for it. We also got a donation that said no more splooge.
Ooh.
We got a donation for $1 that says no splooge.
Oh wow.
People
Cyborg
paying
is
you
out?
for none.
Oh, it was Tristelio.
Woo!
Nice. Thank you so much, Cecilio. Yes, so I'll go down the list here. Cyborg is out. Expect a full Titans flick instead of just a Cyborg one, with Deathstroke as the main villain. Nightwing is supposedly in it.
I find that
Cyborg will
so
be in
hard
the
to
Flash
believe.
movie. So I guess Barry and Vic are going to know each other from school.
I've seen this list before.
Yeah,
Some
well,
of
it only
that
came out 2
sounds
weeks ago, so
reasonable.
you haven't seen it too long ago.
I can
What?
understand them canceling Cyborg and
Yes.
trying to do something else with it. But come on, they haven't even done a Robin yet, and this is an older Batman. Do you really think they're just going to be like, yep, full-on Teen Titans movie now, guys?
Yeah.
Deathstroke is offered to a bunch of actors. Ultimately went to Joe Manganiello, which is confirmed
means
now,
no
so that makes
Right.
a little more legitimacy to this. The sequel to Man of Steel will be released in 2020. Superman will not be in the title. The villain's going to be Brainiac.
Yeah.
And they're going to give him a new origin. They're going to basically plan it around Lex using kryptonite and alien tech to enhance the Lex OS, and it becomes Brainiac.
That sounds like so
Whenever
many
the
of these
studio
like
comes
official.
up with better ideas, yeah, the studio has such better ideas than the comics.
I don't know why we don't just go, Brainiac's from Krypton, crazy AI, boom, hits the planet.
It's all, like there's 3 you can choose from, and you made up your own, and it's stupid. Thank you.
A lot of these sound like wishful thinking. Like, that's like something people want to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and we don't know that. So I said, keep in mind, guys, these are unconfirmed. Edgar Wright is also being courted for a project.
That
don't
makes
doubt
sense.
They're trying not to make Justice League feel overcrowded, but it's clear there's a lot they're already working with. They're looking to make it a long movie. They don't want to cut a ton of stuff, then repeat past mistakes. That's a
Good.
complaint that we've had. I think about even the Avengers. I think even Age of Ultron and everything felt overcrowded. The only superhero team flick so far that I will go on record and say, in my opinion, felt just rightly paced was the original Avengers.
Yes.
Not Guardians? I thought Guardians did well
Guardians
with
as
everyone.
well.
Guardians did pretty good with it, but okay, Guardians as well. I'll go with the 2 of them. But Age of Ultron and Civil War just felt like they tried to cram way too much into those movies.
I think Age of Ultron, in terms of like Easter eggs and like Age of Ultron had a few more quiet team building interactive moments that I like to see in my Capes and Tights movies. Civil War had better action. I don't know. It's interesting. I can't compare the 2, but I liked a couple of those moments that like Whedon had to like fight tooth and nail for, like the farmhouse scene. I like those scenes, so I'm happy with that. The party scene where they they're trying to lift the hammer, and before that when they're all interacting and like Hulk and Scarlet Witch or Scarlett Johansson are flirting. I like all those quiet moments. So like and those are the most crowded scenes. Those are the scenes that have everyone in them. I like those moments. I think
For the record, a lot of people are saying Guardians. It's funny that I forgot that one because I still chalk that as my favorite Marvel movie. So like,
Yeah,
for
Guardians
me
of the
to-
Galaxy was amazing.
I was like, for me to be like, I don't even consider that a good team. No, that is definitely. Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to top.
Okay, Justice League's villain is supposed to be Steppenwolf for the first movie. They're going to fight
We knew that.
demons for a good chunk of the film. Lex is out of prison. The public will love him. He tries to manipulate the public into hating superheroes again, but it doesn't work. He helps Steppenwolf in exchange for technology and knowledge. He's going to be very manipulative and much more calmer than he was in Batman v Superman. He's also
We can only
scarier.
hope.
There's a funny scene during this movie where the League is going to assemble, and Joker and Harley are committing a crime, and they expect only Batman to show up, and then the whole League shows up.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. And I guess it's really funny, and Joker and Harley just stand there not knowing what to do, and they're like, well, shit.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
They get their butt beat by Steppenwolf, then the full League comes together to defeat him in an awesome climactic fight reminiscent of the big fight scene in Avengers.
Yep.
Superman has a beard, long hair, tattered, scorched-looking black suit, and is thin at first, but not as thin as Flashpoint Superman, but still thin.
Which
During
we
the fight-
already joked about them doing, which again sounds like wishful thinking if we could put that together.
Yeah. During the fight with Steppenwolf, you'll see his strength fully return with each swing, and with each second he's in the sunlight. Green Lantern also shows up at the very, very end of the film, may be moved to a mid or post-credit scene. And there's a Darkseid tease, but they may not use Darkseid, because apparently that movie, Justice League 2, will come out right alongside the Infinity War, and they don't want that to be confused.
That
Right,
is
that
a
makes
smart
sense.
move.
Yeah.
To me, that's a very smart move. And here's why. Infinity War is going to take everything. I don't care what DC does. Infinity War will outsell. It will crush everything they do. Save Darkseid. Do not
I
allow
100%
Darkseid to be
agree. They
wasted.
had their chance with Batman v Superman to be like, this is what we're doing and we're amazing. And
Yep.
they pissed it away. So
They
the next
pissed it away.
time that moviegoers have to pick a movie, go in Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. So I would, that's a smart move. I would wait until after. That way the landscape's clear, and they can throw out Darkseid.
Yep.
Yes.
Justice League 2 is also going to get pushed back to the end of 2019 to make room for Justice League Dark, I guess. Now, this is a little confusing for me. Are we also getting a live-action one? Because I know we're getting the cartoon.
Yes.
See, that was my question.
From what I hear.
Although maybe this is because the dude Lyman jumped off Gambit to Justice League Dark, so Justice League Dark is happening now.
Okay, all right, so that is happening. Okay. Aquaman released in 2018 with the villain of Black Manta, though as far as we know, he's not been cast yet. They want him to be Darth Vader-esque. I'm hoping they don't.
Well, in Young Justice, Wiseman said, we wanted to make him underwater Boba Fett, so clearly someone has taken that, which again, this feels cherry-picked from other stuff that people has said, this so-called leak. I'm very suspicious.
I don't know. So far, it's been confirmed, and if Kevin Smith is even confirming it, it's lining up. But Flash is set up for the March 2018, and the villains are the Rogues, led by a creepy Captain Cold. And I am so happy for this, because the Flash show is great, but they went from 0 to 90. They went right to the speedsters and the crazy shit, and we have yet to just have Flash fighting the Rogues in a substantial storyline.
Yeah.
We had the hint of it when Heatwave and Captain Cold worked together and he had to team up against them, but we haven't just had the Rogues
I know.
in a rogue war.
They made Cold into a good guy for crying out loud.
So I'm so happy that we're not just like, Flash is coming out in March and he's going to fight Zoom.
Yeah.
That would be nice if true. I hope that one's true.
The Batman, right now called The Batman, is going to release in October 5 of 2018.
That's smart.
Currently, it's Black Mask is the main villain, which probably has a lot to do with the Batman Arkham Origins game, where Black Mask is a primary villain, and he's gotten a lot more fame thanks to that.
All right, what's the story about Black Mask? I don't know hardly anything about him.
He's a gangster who wears a black mask.
He's a gangster with a mask.
Roman Sionis. He was another one of the rich kids in Gotham.
Joel already got my answer, man.
He basically he has no powers, which is why he's a great villain for Batman. He's just he's basically like fighting Carmine, Falcone.
Well, he's a great bridge between where Gotham was with gangsters and where Gotham will be with crazies.
Right, because his whole idea of putting on the mask is that the Gotham is full of crazies, so he has to become one to an extent by becoming the Black Mask. He can't just be Roman Sionis anymore.
Right.
But he's the middle ground. Basically, like if you were to go with the tiers of Batman fighting the games from Carmine Falcone as the start, Black Mask would be middle, Joker would be the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a good point, but Joker and Harley have a subplot involving a blah. This is a little worried because apparently they're also in Justice League. I'm kind of worried Joker and Harley are just going to be popping up in all the movies.
I would not doubt that, although it sounds suspicious to me. But yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, but so that's the plot. Black Mask is going to line up with the villains, try to get his revenge. Deadshot's going to break out and say, fuck you, I don't care, and all that kind of stuff. Luke Evans has been approached to play Sinestro in Green Lantern Corps. The film is supposed to be lighthearted and fun. They're modeling the tone of old cheesy sci-fi serials. As of right now, the villain will be Sinestro with a tease towards Atrocitus towards the end.
Now, can I say that Luke Evans is a great choice to play Sinestro?
Yes.
Luke Evans was a bad guy from the Fast and the Furious movie when Letty came back.
I still have to watch all those.
Choice. Oh God, dude, he is a great choice for Sinestro.
Good for that role.
He's got the look, he's got the attitude, he's got the tone. He'd be a great Sinestro.
This is actually what got me remembering, because somebody asked about the Shazam movie, and this is what got me remembering this list. So whoever, I don't remember who asked about it, they were asking where Shazam, is it still coming out? This is your response. They do want to still do it. They want to have a fresh and new revamp of Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson has been supposedly in constant communication to see what they could do to make this film better. Billy is also going to be a huge Justice League fan, and he meets him at the end of the Shazam movie. Don't know if I like the idea of revamping Black Adam, because part of his character is he is old. He is from the old Egypt. Like, you don't need to revamp him because that's part of who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. That sounds like the most like DC, like Warner Brothers they would do.
Yeah. No, instead of being from old ancient Egypt, he's from current day Egypt, and he's a hipster.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
And he loves skateboarding.
They list off a bunch of people that they've discussed about various roles. That could be anything.
Which, by the way, okay, I want to throw this out there. I'm not wildly adverse to Brie Larson playing Carol Danvers, but I think that Emily Blunt would have been a much better choice.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
And I think if they cast Emily Blunt in a strong female lead, I think Marvel will be like, we kind of fucked up on that choice.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
So Rob Lowe has been approached as a villain for the Flash film. Emily Blunt,
Interesting.
Rosemendo Pike, Alexander. They've all been approached various people. They've all, they keep listing of people that have been approached. I mean,
So everyone who's big in Hollywood
you could literally
right
put anyone's name in that list. Like Benny Potter from Comic Story has been approached to play a role in the DC universe. I mean, it could be anything.
Some actors have been approached, whatever.
Yeah. Expect full trailers from both Wonder Woman and the Justice League to emphasize the fun of these movies. That also ties into what we've seen so far. Wonder Woman trailer shows the villain a little. Also expect a bunch of announcements regarding casting, release dates being moved, and a few new films being added to the slate. Plans for DC EU shows and EU animated movies are supposedly going to be coming out. That's I find interesting because how can we have the whole CW universe plus tie-in shows?
Yeah.
Are they going to work out a Netflix Hulu deal? Be like, you can only see it here, not on the CW.
Oh, no, here it is. Okay, I was going to say, now, this is supposedly where that is. The DCEU shows are supposedly going to be on HBO.
Oh, right, I heard that too, yeah.
And they're talking about doing a Birds of Prey, a Nightwing, and The Question, The Phantom Strangers, Zatanna, and Dr. Fate. The last four I'd love to see in HBO. I don't know about doing Nightwing and Birds of Prey, because how would you do that? Like,
you can make it work. There's some good stuff.
I'll be honest, man. I probably would not go see a Birds of Prey movie.
Well,
I'm not interested.
No, it's an HBO show. They're talking about an HBO show.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested enough in like Batgirl and Black Canary, those characters to go see a...
That's a big team with a big history. There's lots of members you could sub in and out, too.
Yeah, but I assume they're going to use a New 52 variant. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Well, I like those characters going on right now, which is... I'd say this current Birds of Prey is the closest to the original. This is the original, isn't it? Before they started adding people?
It's the Gail Simone years of it, which is the one everyone thinks of.
Okay. I was gonna say there is one before, but I don't think anyone knows that one.
Yeah, there were teams before. It's just no one remembers who. Like Chuck Dixon wrote it, didn't he, Sal? For a long period of time.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, when they invented the concept. Yeah.
Suicide Squad 2 is going to happen after 2020, likely 2021. A slightly altered roster, and it will not be directed by the same guy. DCEU has now been mapped out to about 2025. A Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie is up in the air right now. They're leading on the edge of approving it after the success of Deadpool, but may use it as one of their HBO shows.
Here's a question. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, they were saying that they are, we had just heard they were going to make a Booster Gold show, or a movie, rather, but it will not be connected to the DCEU.
So here's a question. If they make a Booster Gold movie, who should play Booster Gold?
Nathan Fillion.
That's what everybody. I've heard that. I've heard that from so many people.
Wait, so they have said they are going to do it? It's just.
I've heard they are going to do it, but it will be separate from the DCEU.
What? No, they can't do that.
That's what I said.
Doing that.
That's what I heard.
You can make it on the outskirts, like what it sounds like the Shazam movie's going to be. Where it's
I agree.
It's not really in it, but we're here. We're on the same planet. Just. Oh, I think that's everything, isn't it? I mean, I even added two topics to this one. Because Joel failed us. Good job, Joel.
What are you talking about? We've been talking for like an hour and a half. 2 hours.
I didn't know you wanted just pure uncut speculation.
That's not uncut.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. So
you're failing at your job.
There's two more topics as Joel was trying to point out and failing to do at the same time.
No, I said that's fine if you don't want to talk about
Yeah.
Rob.
Joel.
Okay, I thought. Nice.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is Rob gonna read the whole thing, or is he just gonna read the first couple words and then make up the story from there? I skimmed it. I got enough. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. We finally got a full body shot, flaming skull look of Robbie Reyes.
Yep.
It's more of a traditional skull. It's not like a metal chrome skull like from the comics. I was a little disappointed, honestly.
I think they're going with identifiability. People think of Ghost Rider, they think of a flaming skull. And if it was a flaming metal skull, if it was like the comics, people would be like, "What's this?" They're taking the character of Robbie Reyes and they're throwing him in with the Johnny Blaze depiction of Ghost Rider.
Yep.
And it makes sense.
Well, it does because you first off, if you want to do Robbie Reyes because he's got more open whatever, that's fine. He's more available and whatever. But the skull's what everyone knows. If you start just doing another flaming guy, you're going to start getting attacked with, you're stealing the idea from Ghost Rider even though they own it. But people will get that.
Yeah.
I dare you rip off your own idea.
But I will say, he doesn't look terrible.
He looks pretty good.
I like it, but here's the thing. I have a feeling that this CGI that they're going to use is going to be very old very quickly. They need to use it sparingly so it has like the effect of Ghost Rider being here, as opposed to him just like If they ever have a scene where Ghost Rider's just chatting with Phil Coulson in the Flaming Skull, that's the end. If he's like, so how's it going, Phil? Oh yeah,
That being
got these
said,
guys over here.
TV CG has gotten better. I mean, we all remember what a Hive looked like at the end of last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He looked pretty good, so it gives me hope for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I mean, my question still stands. How do you roll him in? I mean, granted, Robert Reyes is not your traditional angel demon, so on and so forth. But I mean, where does he get his powers from? Is he taken over by Eli? Or is he an Inhuman?
If they do the Eli plot, they're going to tone down Eli. I can tell you that right now.
Oh yeah,
He was really evil in the comic.
yeah, he was pretty sadistic.
That's what made that comic so interesting. Was Eli being so sadistic?
It was a swerve, wasn't it? And the angrier Robbie gets, the more Eli can control his body.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that's what Hive looked like. I'm gonna have to look up. I'm gonna have to actually watch the rest of the show.
He's only that way for like 5 seconds, but it's
Oh, but if you haven't seen the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it got really good, man. Season 3 got really solid. It got a lot better than I thought it would.
But the Lash thing I was like, Lash looks so bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, Lash.
Well, he
is the
never
least
doesn't
of it.
look bad.
Yeah, Lash always looks bad, but it gets much better after Lash.
I'll check it out. I mean, I just watched Supergirl. I mean, I can only go up from here.
It will be a marked improvement, I can assure
Oh,
you.
by the way, did you guys see that Jessica Jones got Marvel's first Emmy for a TV show?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
That's awesome. Finally get some damn respect.
Yeah, go Jessica Jones.
There was 2. You said there's one more. What's the next thing?
There was one last one. This is very minor. Billy Crudup there, the actor who played Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen movie. He's been cast as Flash's dad for the Flash movie.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh no! See, okay, when you put that, I thought they had dropped. So they're going to do a reveal in DC Comics that Dr. Manhattan is Barry Allen's dad. I'm like, really?
Maybe they should now.
That would not be a good story to cover.
Yeah, people would lose their shit. They'd be like, what?
So I think that right there brings us to the end of the show. So let's go ahead and do the outro, and then we'll stick around for 5-10 more minutes talking to you guys directly, like we always do in the post show. If you're watching this on the recording, don't forget to watch us live over at Twitch on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. We also do another stream on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you come by here and watch us live, you'll get to talk with us more directly because we do stuff before and after the show where we just chat with you guys. But if you are joining us late into the show, as usual, I'm Benny the Comic Story, and I read your comic books dramatically back to you on YouTube. That is Joel, the man, the wonder, the individual that can finish anyone's sentence as though he's married to them. He is a
Whether you
magician
want him to or
about it.
not.
Whether you want to or not. He also does some great reviews on TV shows and comic books over at his channel, Caped Joel. Go check it out. That is Rob from Comics Explained, and Rob plays, and he's on the Eligible Monster team with me. He is a man of many skills and many talents. He does a lot of things. Go check him out on all of those channels. And lastly, that is Joel from the wonderful team of ComicPOP, where basically it's him and like 20 other people, and they do comic book discussion shows, and 3 other people. And
That's a bunch of pops.
They do a lot of great stuff over there, guys. They just celebrated their 40,000 subscriber milestone. They just did a live stream over there, so go check out everything they do over there. And now I'm going to use this mouse to pick Joel's nose. There it is. There we go. They got it right there. And thank you, guys. So I'm ending the recording here, and we'll be hanging around, so stick around if you're